awful, terrible. Sorry, I was just warming up the old trombone, and by trombone I mean flute. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to making a video every day until I get a job. This is day 10. Oh my God, we hit day 10. Nice, super sick. Today, we are doing something a little special. We're doing the first episode of Gages Faves, a series where I go over some of my favorite things and I recommend them and I tell you why I like them so much. Today, we are going to be talking about my favorite musical artist, TV Room. Now, if you know me, you know that I can get kind of douchey when it comes to picking out what type of music I enjoy. I tend to only listen to things that are upbeat and poppy and fun, you know? I don't normally like mainstream stuff too much, not because it's popular, but just because I don't think it takes too many risks. Now, that being said, I'll still put on a little Olivia Rodrigo from time to time, or, you know, Chaperone, or even the 2009 hit single from the Black Eyed Peas, Pump It. But again, I tend to really like the music that fills me with energy and makes me want to move. And here comes TV Room into the fray. I added him to my Spotify playlist back on January 10th, 2020, exactly 8 days before I met my girlfriend, Jamie, who I'm still together with to this day. And boy, oh boy, I do not miss the musical person that I was before listening to this artist. The TV Room is fun and playful and, above all else, original. I mean, now would be a great time to tell you other artists that he sounds like, but I really can't think of any. The only one that comes even close to the same sort of style is Divio. And you probably haven't even heard of him either. The best way for you to understand what TV Room's music is like is just for you to listen yourself. So here's a little clip. Pretty cool, right? I mean, as far as sound goes, TV Room weaves a chaotic sonic quilt of xylophones and drum machines and old samples from N64 games. It's really cool. Even in terms of vocals, TV Room isn't afraid to do their own thing. They use a lot of pitch and voice modulation plugins to give their voice an interesting tonal quality in a lot of their pieces. Just to show you how complex and creative his music can be, let's take a listen to his song Lake Attitash, the bass drop part, and break it down into its various parts. Let's take a listen. Oh, it's so good! Already there are tons of musical building blocks that are hard to notice on first glance. To start off with, there are light and airy pads that are giving the track depth throughout this whole entire section. If you were listening closely, you may have even noticed the wacky chord the pad played before the drop. He creates dissonance so that when the drop comes, it's that much more satisfying to hear it get resolved. And he isn't afraid to play with space either, as he allows different musical phrases to be passed from ear to ear, instrument to instrument. And the instruments he picks are phenomenal as well. They all have a different sort of quality to them and sound, but they sound similar enough to the point where the phrase can be passed off almost effortlessly from instrument to instrument. Some of these instruments even trail off and lighten up as they provide the track more background texture. Speaking of texture, by the way, if you were listening, there was a walking-ish bass line that comes in every few measures that also provided the track with a lot more texture. Again, this is just to add to the complexity of the track and to ramp up for the big drop. And then when the drop hits, it's like, whoa. And almost every song of his is like this. Hell, some are even crazier. I mean, take his song Know It All, for instance, the first song I ever listened to of his. Or listen to The Little Bird Watcher and his use of the instruments there. Or even one of his more modern songs, Big and Strong, from his EP, The Big Big Deal.
I am calm, I am helpful, I can help when things get stressful. I could be the one you need if you tell me what you
Needless to say, he's been doing this for a long time. He He started off on SoundCloud in 2016 under the name Upstairs, making lo-fi music. And then within the same year, he released some more lo-fi tracks under the name TV Room, still on SoundCloud. I mean, SoundCloud was the place to be for experimental electronic artists back in the day. After working on his style and honing in his skills, he eventually released his first song ever on Spotify in 2017. He made a collaboration with an artist called Toasty, I believe, called Fan Mail. And then the same year he dropped a song called Not That Nice, both of which amazing, excellent songs. I can't recommend them enough. By the time I started listening in 2020, he had already released 10 songs and a full EP, including one of my favorite songs, Something in the Water. When I started listening, he had around 650 monthly listeners. The dedication. And then by mid to late 2020, his listeners were in the thousands. He gained a lot of recognition from rhythm games on Roblox and Geometry Dash, of all things.
Be sure if I say it back, 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 if I.
In 2021, he even made an EP that was commissioned by the Attitash Multimedia Commission, an arts program run by the Attitash Watershed Association, to make an EP called The Great State of Maine. Since then, he's worked on his musical style and just recently in April released a new EP titled The Big Big Deal, which varies like crazy in terms of tone and style. It's really good. You should check it out. And nowadays, TV Room sits at around 36,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. With the incredible reception of his most recent EP, he stated on Twitter that he plans on working on music every single day from here on out. And I really hope he does. I think there's a lesson to be learned all of this. You can understand everything in the world about music theory and polyrhythms and harmonics and all that jazz. But in order to make some truly great music, you have to take some risks and be yourself. TV Room inspires me through their music, as a person and as a person who creates music. I hope they keep on doing what they're doing, and I can't wait to see what they do next. If you like this video, again, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It really means a lot to me. Also, let me know if you want more content like this. It was a ton of fun to make, and I got to talk about like my favorite thing in the world. Also, make sure to check out TV Room wherever you listen to your music. I'll put a link to them in the description. With that being said, thanks for tuning in, everybody, and it was lovely to see you. Bye, gamers. There you go. Okay, bye.